Hi guys, today I am going to explain how we build a complex server and how we made our complex server up all the time. And with time, what we did is we started with our basic mobile application, which is interacting with a server. As the number of users grow, the responsibility of server also grow because we want our server to have minimum downtime. Even we want zero, so in ideal scenario we want our server to have a zero downtime. So how we started, and I will tell you our journey of how we started and then how we grow in a very complex server which is robust and had a very minimalistic downtime. So initially when I thought of building a mobile app, so basically I started with Android application. So what I did is we had a small application which want to interact with a server. So I bought a server. So when I bought a server, I got a IP address of this machine, which is a static IP. It is fixed. So now what I know is I need to interact with a server. I have my IP address. I wrote code in my app that okay, whenever you need something, ask this thing with a particular IP address. But a empty machine cannot reply anything to a server, application client. So what we did is we built a small web server on this particular machine. And as we were using a HTTP protocol which runs on port 80. So whenever a HTTP request will come, it will by default come to port 80 of this machine. Okay, so now what we did is, okay, we run our web server which is listening on port 80 at a particular IP address. Simple app send a HTTP request, web server get the request, web server do its processing, and then once processing is done, it sends request back to the app in term of response. So I made my first web server, which is simply running a process. App is requesting to the server and then getting a response. Now the thing is, in meantime, I realized that my requirement are not getting fulfilled this particular server. So I thought, okay, I want to buy another server which is much more bigger and having high RAM, high hard disk space, high processing power. So I bought another machine. So they gave me another IP address to this machine. Now what I need to do is I need to build a new app with the new updated IP address. So I released a new app with the new IP address. So this is my app 2. Now I started this server, same thing, having a web server listening at port 80. So the thing is, when I released the new application, half of the people downloaded this application, half of the people already had the previous application. So now those guys are hitting to this server and these guys are hitting to this server. And even as my number of users grow, my server need to be upgraded, my server need to be having high processing power, high RAM. So one way of solving this issue is I can have a big server machine which is maybe say 16 GB RAM or maybe say 400 GB hard or 1 TB hard disk and very good configuration. But the thing is, when I have very less number of users, why I am paying for that kind of server machine? So what I did is, instead of doing it, I need to fix this IP address problem. So I simply go and bought a domain name. So what domain name is? Domain name corresponding to a particular IP address which is specified in domain name server. So domain name server is more like a key value pair, where key is the domain name and value is the IP address. So how buying a simple domain name solved my problem? So what I did is, okay, I had my app, first version of app. Now it is hitting to a particular domain name. This is my web server listening at port 80. Now I specified the domain name that okay, app, you need to go and hit to this particular domain name. But now app don't know the domain name, app only know domain name, app don't know the IP address of my machine. So whenever I send a HTTP request, it will first go to the domain name server. Its app will ask, okay, tell me what is the IP address for this particular domain. So each domain will have a unique. So this is a unique name. Domain name is a unique name. No two people can, no two website or no two server, no two website can have same domain name. So as this is unique, I can bind a unique IP with this particular domain name. So I say, okay, for this domain name, I have my IP1. Now what app will do? App will know the IP address 1. It will hit my IP address and get the response. Now I realized, okay, this web server is not fulfilling my requirement. I added another web server, which is much bigger, which is also listening at port 80 because I am using HTTP protocol. And what HTTP protocol does is it by default send request to port 80. Now instead of updating my app, what I did is I updated my IP address here, IP2, because this machine has IP2. Now one benefit is I don't need to launch a new app with a new IP address, and second thing is I updated my machine without any hassle. So now whenever this guys will ask what is the new IP address or what is the IP address for this domain name, it will automatically give the IP address 2, and then it will hit this particular IP and get the response. So this is the first basic step what I did to make my app more robust. Okay, this helped me changing the IP address at runtime without even affecting the user. So this is the first step which I did. So now in my app I specified a domain name, and based on particular domain name I have a web server and people are directly getting request response. And as the number of users grow, as my server need more processing power, I keep on buying new servers and updating their IP address to a particular domain name. So this is the first thing I did to improve my web application. Now the thing is, there are multiple scenarios in which I have one thing. So this is the IP address which corresponding to a particular machine. Now there are scenario when this machine goes down due to some reason, some power outrage or something. So now the issue is all my clients, all my apps are wondering, okay, no response is coming from my server. Now the thing is, this will cause lot of issues. So this is the and even when I am earning lot of dollars from my particular app, I don't want this to happen at any point of time. So we will gradually explore how to make a complex server which can help reduce the downtime, and mostly practically it should run ideally, it should run all the time. So we'll first focus on what web stack I used. So initially I'm a Java developer, so I used Java framework. So what framework I used is Play framework. It is very good. It is built on Netty, and in development mode it gives me power to hot code redeploy. And also as it is on Java, we finally get a Java class file which we deploy on server, which is then it becomes very fast because we are not interpreting it when we hit the request. So I'll simply give the difference between what interpreting language and what is a compiled language. So there are two kind of languages. One is interpreted and one is compiled. So the difference, so interpreted language can be PHP, Ruby, compiled is Java. So there are other examples also. So the difference is whenever a request comes to the server, interpreted language will on that particular time interpret the code and give the response. While in case of compiled time, we already had a compiled code. So request will come, we will give him the response. Now the benefit of having interpreted language is you can go on the production and change the code, and whenever a new request will come, it will interpret the new code this time. But in compiled time we can't do all those kind of things. But then there is a speed difference also. This is compiled code, already bytecode, or even if we use another language which gives us machine language code, it will be very fast. We don't need to do all those interpretation. So what I did is I run a web server. So there can be multiple web server options. One is Nginx, one is Apache server. So I used Nginx because it's based on workers, and it is an event based server. Sorry. So whenever an event comes, it send that particular event to my application server. Here you can use both, but Nginx is more faster than Apache. Now I have my application server. As I am running this on Java, so I used so in play if so there are multiple options in Java also. If I am working on any other kind of framework, then I need to use Tomcat to run Java. But as Play already have inbuilt Netty application server, so here we are using Netty. This is a NIO. So here we are running our Play server. Now we need to store a lot of things on some database, so we use one MySQL database. One motivation of using MySQL is it's the open source and it is free. So that way, so all these things, initially I was running on my single machine, same machine. Now this web server is listening on port 80. This application server, I ran it on port 9000. You can run it on any port, you can specify what port you want to run. Now let's remove this. So now whenever a request comes to my web server, in my Nginx configuration, I will tell that whenever a request comes to my port 80 and it is a particular domain, this particular domain name request which I specified in my app client, redirect this request to port 9000 where my application server is listening. 9000, it is listening here. And based on the request, my Java code will do some computation, and then if we need to save some data or read some data from MySQL, I'll read it, give the response back, and from here it will give the response back to the application. So this is the basic thing from which I started. Now in next videos, I will explain how this particular thing start growing into more complex stuff. Thank you.